Hi and Assalamualaikum to Dr. Idris. My name is Siti Sarah binti Ashraf. For our group assignment presentation titled Talent Recruitment and Selection, Best Practices of a Competitive Organization, company that we choose are Microsoft Corporation. Microsoft Corporation is an American technology company with its headquarters in Redmond, Washington that promotes the development, production, and licensing of products and services related to computing. It was founded by two childhood friends, Bill Gates and Paul Allen, and the company was registered in 1976 at New Mexico. Less than a year later, in August 1977, the business established its first international office. The ASCII Microsoft branch was based in Japan. The business relocated to Bellevue, Washington in 1979, and 2 years later it became Microsoft Incorporation. Bill Gates served as the company president and chairman of the board, while Paul Allen served as the executive vice president. Microsoft faces three challenges with its staffing organization. First is element of culture. Every action taken by the employee at Microsoft is asked for justification. No one was exempt for criticism, and those who left errors in their works received harsh punishment. The demanding Bill Gates and the senior manager met frequently. Employees were known to hold mock sessions with their colleagues to prepare themselves for the actual session because the meeting with Gates was so fearful. Second, recruiting difficulties. Microsoft is having trouble finding the employees as well, especially for the challenges they provide. Some graduates choose smaller businesses with smaller packages than Microsoft during a campus placement. This is due to the apprehension of the challenges of working at Microsoft, which is a sizable corporation that dominates the global technology industry. Lastly, hybrid new normal of work. Microsoft discovered that although businesses have prioritized using technology to support remote work environments and general business transformation, technology is not the only factor causing the change. The need to redraw boundaries for relationships outside of work hours arises from the fact that people who started working from home frequently receive calls from their bosses even after the working hours. According to research, nearly 47% of people who work from home find it difficult to deal with distractions. Life and work for everyone changed overnight as different areas were affected by COVID-19. According to Katie Dundas, head of marketing of Microsoft team, every day there are about 200 million participants in meetings, which total of 4.1 billion minutes. These data points demonstrate that enormous shifts toward remote work. Next will be continued by Nur Shahida to explain more about Microsoft staffing models and human resource planning.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Shahida and I will present about staffing models and human resource planning. Staffing model consists of three types, which are staffing quantity for levels and staffing quality for person job match and person organization match respectively. For staffing quantity, Microsoft company was having understaffed situation whereby the requirements of work exceeds availabilities. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic happened, the IT company had to recruit more talent in the respective field because people were working from home. The new technology advances are needed to be upgraded and introduced. Thus, Microsoft suctioned the expanding, for example, Windows, Office, and Teams versions are now experiencing layoff. According to GeekWarrior, at the conclusion in end of September, Microsoft had approximately 190,000 employees working around the world with an increase of 23,500 individuals worldwide or 14% over the previous year. This has resulted that the company are now facing a fully staffed situation. Next, we have staffing quality for person-job match. In this context, Microsoft defines the success of their perks, rewards, and everything in between depends on them. The job requirements in Microsoft depends on each department and professions. Let's take an example of senior software engineer requires the responsibility in charge of providing the technical direction and vision for the core infrastructure's architecture, design, and implementation at a scale that allows it to control millions of devices. Besides, the qualification is also needed, which are 7 years and more of experiencing as a software engineer or leader designing, implementing implementing and shipping cloud services or software products. Besides, Microsoft also provides the position and identify the candidate's work's potential, which in return, it will be given rewards. For instance, as a senior software engineer, it will be rewarded maternity and paternity leave, educational resources, opportunity to network and connect, as well as industry-leading healthcare. The last one is staffing quality for person-organization match. Microsoft had its organization values, which are first, respect, whereby the company acknowledged that employees' views, emotions, and backgrounds are just as significant as their own. Second, integrity, which the company's employees are ethical, honest, and trustworthy. Lastly, accountability, that Microsoft accepts full responsibility in terms of all choices, deeds, and outcome. Furthermore, Microsoft also includes new job duties for their employees to seek. In enabling them to accomplish more, Microsoft has structured their tools and materials. In addition to job-related information, employees also find helpful learning resources and community that each position can join to find even more inspiration along the way. Moving on, Microsoft also has its own strategic planning based on human resource planning. Microsoft Vision was created based on its organization strategy that need to develop. The company's vision is to help people and business throughout the world realize their full potential, which this statement shows the company position its computing and business solution as tools that people and business organizations may utilize to advance themselves. Next, planning time frame requires the need to look in future, which is how long it should be extended. For Microsoft company, it is a plan-based human resource planning because it takes a longer time to build on their own branding. On April 4, 1975, Bill Gates and Paul Allen established US Microsoft to create and market basic interpreters for the Alta 8800. In the middle of 1980s, MS-DOS and Windows drove it to the top of the market for personal computer operating system. Since that, Microsoft being a top-tier company that conquered the IT and software system, which has helped many people in advancing their works. Last but not least, the succession planning. Microsoft is known as one of the biggest and most renowned manufacturers of computer hardware and software, whereby succession planning was made because of its talent management strategy. The management of this company talent pool is always done with a great care. Since Bill Gates served as the company CEO previously, Microsoft has forced a culture of talent pooling to help it decide how to assign each employee's variety of job. From entry-level roles to senior managerial positions, the Human Resource Unit create a unit that identify unique skills and competency of the employees. That's all from me, thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Sarah Nabila binti Muhammad Rosli. So, for job analysis in Microsoft, it's just like any other big company. They focus on the primary tool to collect job-related data. Microsoft understands the importance of having the accurate data for two set of under the job analysis. Since having the right persons at the right place can make the organization run smoothly. So, from the research, Microsoft usually use open-ended questionnaire, interview, and observations. Microsoft Manager will start with creating questionnaire that include all the necessary KSAO. The highly structured questions are created in order to identify the skill required, the specialized, and also the define the job objective. Next, Microsoft use interview method. They use this method because it is one of the way to collect data and information for determining the KSAO needed from their current employees. The interviewer will focus on the questions such as predetermined and follow-up questions according to the response that they receive. The last method that they use is observation. In this method, employers will observe employees based on their performing for their job tasks. After the observation, they can identify the KSAO that needed for the position. This helps both employer and employee to understand the exact KSAO that needs to be delivered and how. Next, let's continue with the example for Microsoft job description, such as for software design engineer. Microsoft purpose for this job position is you are the keeper of the code. This job requires them to build their own product from the start using their own ideas. For example, creating technology with their own coding concept. The details for this job description is the result from the job analysis method that have been run by the HR manager. Microsoft is a giant technology company that exists all over the world, which means that they have high employment rates worldwide. Thus, their requirement and selection method strategy must be secure and efficient. To make sure the job requirement match with the candidate KSAO, they will be going through several types of interviews. The candidate needs to submit their updated resume to Microsoft website as usual. After a week or two, there will be a phone screening interview whereby the recruiters think the candidate match with the job description. The interviewer will ask questions based on understanding, openness to learning, and interest throughout the short call, except for technical field, which might require about 45 minutes. This is because more technical questions about data structures, algorithms, and other ideas related to their area of expertise will be asked during these interviews. Furthermore, after 1 or 2 weeks, if the candidate passed the screening stage, they might receive an invitation for a phone interview with the hiring manager. Typically, a list of discussion topics will be given in advance, which, for instances, an engineering manager or senior developer will conduct this phone interview if they are applying for a position involving engineering. The next stage is conducted by a panel of Microsoft developers or manager in on-site interview, which they will be given a mix of behavior questions and coding exercises. If the candidate did well, it will be proceeded to the final stage, but in some instances, they might have an interview with HR. Eventually, if they succeeded all stages of interview, Microsoft should get in touch with the candidate with a formal offer. This is the chance for them to discuss and negotiate it regarding their salary and also benefit.
Hi, my name is Susri Sriza and I will explain to you about Microsoft decision making and final match. So, without further ado, I will share with you about your decision making first. As a briefing, decision making is understanding the nature of the position being filled, and filling the position is very important when making final decision regarding candidates. There are 6 elements in the decision making. First is choice of assessment method. In Microsoft, the recruiter strives to evaluate a candidate's fundamental understanding, ability, and capability for learning the assessment process, and they will encourage the candidates to ask questions to demonstrate their honesty, teamwork, and resourcefulness. Next element is determining assessment scores. Microsoft doesn't have a fixed interview procedure or structure, but applicants should typically anticipate 4 to 5 rounds of interviews to assess their problem solving, technical, and analytical abilities. The third element is hiring standards and cut scores. Microsoft is no longer exclude job applicants without college degrees. Instead, the corporation decided to screen in people who might have the capability to succeed but lack the degree to support it. Next, method of final choice. These days, recruiting teams interview potential employees blindly so that they can make a choice based solely on their own impressions of the applicants. This allows them the chance to evaluate applicants' strengths independently of one another's comments made during the day. Next, decision makers. About a week after the on-site interview, candidates either heard back for a final HR round or received a rejection or an offer. HR may run additional background checks, then the hiring managers will select the qualified candidates once everything is in order. The last one is legal issues. In terms of diversity, In terms of diversity under legal issue, Microsoft is consistently committed to offering chances because it needs a diverse and inclusive workforce with individuals of all abilities to create the best products for everyone. Then, we have final match that will move the offer recipients and the company closer to the job offer or acceptance procedures. Microsoft generates a written employment contract rather than using an oral method for the contract. In job offer, the candidate may receive a job offer after successfully completing the Microsoft interview and matching process. And the job offer will include about the base salary, new hire equity, sign-on bonus, target bonus, and others. And job offer process in Microsoft involving the recruiter discuss the deadlines and inquire about the applicant's reactions to the offer during the offer call. And the final offer from the company will often be notified to the candidates within a week. Next, new employees orientation and socializations in Microsoft, as new hires are immediately given comprehensive information on the company's goods and services as well as crucial details regarding their responsibilities inside the company. Microsoft gives new recruits one-on-one coaching decisions that also are customized to your particular jobs. Last one is legal issue. Employees must complete and sign an I-9 form, which is a right-to-work form to certify their job eligibility. This allows the company to verify that every employee on the team has the right to work, boost the efficiency at which I-9 form verifications data is processed, ensures that the data on form I-9 is more accurate, and simplify the retrieval of I-9 form data to facilitate government inspections.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Adana Balkis Binti Kabri, and I will continue on suggestion for improving talent recruitment and selection practices. As a big company, there is always a room for improvement to be better at recruiting and selection process and get the best smooth procedure. For suggestions, we will look into these three categories, which is staffing flow, staffing strategies, and also management and administration. As we know, Microsoft practices 4 steps of recruiting flow, which is plan, source, access, and hire. While undergo these processes, they had discovered few problems that disrupt the process, such as decentralized recruitment and selection process from different departments, different scheduling makes it difficult to gather all managers for discussion, and also long process of recruitment. There are few suggestions that can be made to improve and solve their problems. First one is time frame. The person in charge need to decide carefully with all the process how fast they need to immediate give the letter to the chosen candidates. For a specific position such as in demand, that the time frame should be faster than regular position that always an open application throughout the year. Next is centralized recruitment. It was challenging to coordinate the schedule for all the individuals participating in the recruiting and interviewing process, since separate recruitment teams use various scheduling software. By having centralized recruitment, where mostly HR department handles the process, it will be much easier to conduct since there is not much tool to be used in the same time while conducting the selection process. Other than that is finding the right tool. Microsoft has so many tools for users to engage with them, including external vendors. Microsoft should decide which tool is the most efficient and can save the cost for recruitment and selection process. Easy system to access by user also can be one of the factors candidates want to approach the company. For staffing strategies, Microsoft can do co-development between HR development team and abstract development team. While HR team is working on structured and well-developed environment, abstract team can play on how to attract more reliable and suitable candidates that have a unique SSO and personality. When both are in different departments work together, they can have a unique outcome when combined together. Next is improved knowledge sharing in decision making. Since we have a co-development between departments to join managing the recruitment process, both teams can exchange ideas and knowledge on deciding which candidates to attract and which tools are the most efficient to use. Approving knowledge can make them think wisely and correctly the pros and cons in making one decision. For management and in administration, firstly, better communication. Every effective manager can display excellent communication skills. When working with more than one department, communication is important in order to avoid any miscommunication that can affect the decision of selection of candidates. Next is training program for internal recruitment. Do a training program for those who want to be promoted or have a desire to fulfill the available vacancies. From there, other than able to choose the most suitable and ready employee, those who are not selected can gain benefit from it and use it for the others' future vacancy.
To sum up this presentation, in a constantly evolving industry, it can be challenging to establish a development culture that satisfies both business objectives and customer needs. In order to jointly develop products that can be sold to customers and satisfy Microsoft internal business needs, the corporation combines a development team with contemporary engineering practices. The hiring process at Microsoft is spread out among a number of moving divisions due to its size. At Microsoft, a greater number of recruiter and hiring managers was involved in the entire recruitment process. The high standard for compliance, data protection and privacy for the candidates and the hiring process are upheld at Microsoft. The corporation must make plans for the position that will be needed, find the suitable talent that could fit to a position, assess the talent pool and hire the best candidate. An efficient hiring and selection process result to lower turnover, and if the job is advertised with specific requirements, it will produce a better result. As an illustration, including a list of all necessary skills as well as a list of desirable skills that are not necessary will improve the candidate's chances. If it doesn't, the company will probably receive a lot of low-quality applicants and have a hard time finding candidates to fill the open positions. In addition, to find candidates with the necessary skills and experience, the recruitment and selection process could also open an opportunity to discover someone who upholds and shares the company core values. As a result, the candidates must also mold themselves to the corporate culture. That's all from us. Thank you.